We have an update dropping inside of Diablo Immortal in just about a day and a half, and it's Season 22 of Diablo Immortal. There's a bunch of update details, not the biggest one, not the smallest, something basically in between. I'm going to go through all the details of that right now. If you love Diablo Immortal, consider subscribing to the channel. All right, so this update is dropping on January 17th. So this is launching on the 16th, about a day from when you're watching this video right here. Now, we do have a battle pass that's going to be dropping here inside of the game too. So let's take a look at some of these cosmetics, what they look like, if they're going to be worth the $5. We already know the answer is yes. All right, so it's definitely a different look. It's kind of like creepy looking. I actually like it. Diablo Immortal Season 22 Battle Pass cosmetics. Not bad whatsoever. So I think that they're going to look awesome. Sanctuary is oozing with maladies and to be eradicated. Wanderer, go forth and defend your home. All right, so cool. I'm looking forward to it. $5 on the Battle Pass. I'm always all about that. It's probably the best $5 you can spend monthly inside of the game. All right, let's get into a little bit more of what's going on. So the Afflicted Infect Sanctuary with the Malicious Presence track down and stamp out the source of disease as a Plague Reaper. The Season 22 Battle Pass ushers in a period of remediation for Sanctuary's wounds. January 18th is when we'll be getting the new Battle Pass, and that's what it is, the Plague Reaper set we have here, which looks kind of cool. I like it because it's different, not all bloody and stuff like we've seen for the rest of them. Now, we have some rewards Battle Pass changes. Notice Fervent Fang, a Grim Rhythm Gem, and 2 Telluric Pearls. When you think about it, everyone's been working towards these Fervent Fang gems, and if you've been working towards them since the beginning, you probably have it all maxed out and you don't need Fervent Fangs anymore, so it's nice that they're giving you some other options here. The Battle Pass, 40 ranks worth of challenge and rewards such as crests, hilts, and more. Starting with this Battle Pass, players will have the option to choose between receiving 2 Telluric Pearls, the Fervent Fang 2-star gem, or the new Grim Rhythm 2-star legendary gem. The new gem can be acquired from rank 40 of the Battle Pass and at ranks 1, 20, and 40 of the Empowered Battle Pass. All right, so you can get it for free, but you could also get it if you do the paid version as well. Description at rank 10, dealing damage increases your attack speed by 2.4% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. While at full stacks, your movement speed is increased by 12%. All right, remember that new rank rewards are available in the Empowered Battle Pass, such as the Contract. Remember, we can now get a familiar contract at rank 1, which is nice. Rotating cosmetics can be attained from the Battle Archive shop for owners of the collectors. So if you buy the $15 Battle Pass, you can get these tokens that you could spend in the shop and get older cosmetics that you may have missed or missed on certain classes. I don't choose to do that. I go with the $5 pass, and I'm a happy man about it. So what's coming back? Fractured Plane is coming back. I feel like it just left. But yeah, the 19th through the 26th, we'll be able to dive back into the Fractured Plane. This time is probably not going to have that focus in on the familiars or the pets that we got to test out last time, which was a great feature. But it will be back, which is a great game mode. Shady Stock, you're just going to be able to run around from the 20th through the 27th and get rewards for things that you already are doing. Alley of Blood. This is one of the other game modes, the PvP type game modes. From 26th through February 2nd, we'll be able to do the Alley of Blood. Here are the rules of engagement. All characters will be set to level 60. Love the balancing there. The rank of all legendary gear and set gear will be set to rank 1. And the rank of all legendary gems on your character will be set to 10. This is a good option and a good opportunity to throw on those 5-star gems that you don't have ranked up, and then they'll be at rank 10. So if you want to experience 5-star gems at rank 10, these types of game modes here are a great way to do that. It's also a good idea to have some 5-star legendary gems in your back pocket, so you can throw them on for events like this, even if you don't use them on the regular. Bonuses from the following are disabled. So Resonance is disabled, Clans and Warbands, Normal Gems and Charms, Helliquary bonuses, Stances, and Paragon specs. So that's actually pretty cool. It really takes things down to a balanced and level playing field for everyone participating. Infernal knowledge. In Sanctuary, few are capable enough to stand against the darkness and wager their life for the defenseless. Here, from the 27th through February 3rd, completing daily tasks will unlock various milestone rewards. So it's again, do the game, play things in the game, you get rewarded. Complete 3 tasks, you get a legendary item. 5 tasks, 3 rare crests. 8 tasks, a Telluric Pearl, and 10 for a legendary crest. Love these things because you get stuff for doing what you're going to do anyway. It's just basically other bonuses. Now we have some balance changes inside of the game. To the Rite of Exile. In Battlegrounds and Rite of Exile, damage dealt to summons by players have been decreased from 150% to 100. That means players no longer can deal increased damage to summons. So if your summons is out there, it's going to be able to stand a little bit longer. In Battlegrounds and Rite of Exile, subsequent loss of control effects imposed by the same player within 6 seconds will have diminishing returns. Each subsequent effect will have a 70% effectiveness compared to the last. So the first will be 100, then it'll be 70, third will be 49, then down to 34, etc. So, loss of control is going to be taking a bit of a nerf, while Necromancer's a bit of a buff. We have some classes that are changing as well. Let's go to the skills of each of the classes. Items are getting changes for all of them as well, but we'll go through skills of each class. Hammer of the Ancients, optimized the cast animation speed. Cleave, cooldown reduced from 9 to 6, that's good. Ferocious Charge, damage is increased by 22%. And Grab, cooldown reduced from 9 to 7 seconds, added a 2-second stun to throw an enemy, greatly reduced initial grab animation. I don't know anyone that uses grab as a barbarian. It's just never, ever used. So, yeah, there's that. All right, let's move on to the Blood Knight skills. Transfusion, shield amount is increased by 16%, and Spear Fury damage is increased by 25%. Blood Knight items, we're not going to go over. Crusader items, there's no skill buffs for Crusaders. Would you look at this? Demon Hunter skills, multi-shot, the damage is increased by 20%. And Sentry, cooldown is reduced from 18 to 12 seconds. Damage is increased by 40%. Massive increase there in Sentry. Apparently, people aren't using that. A lot more item changes for the Demon Hunter as well. Going into the Monk skills, Inner Sanctuary in Battleground and Rite of Exile, cooldown is increased from 20 to 24 seconds for that one. That's a nerf. Mythic Allies, cooldown reduced from 30 to 25 seconds. And Shield of Zen, the shield amount is increased by 15%. So a little bit of a nerf and a little bit of a buff there for the Monk. Now, Necromancer, that just got that big buff we were speaking about earlier. Bone Spirits, the damage is increased by 25%. Necro Bug Fix, Slivered Wings. Fix the bug where the base damage was lower than intended. The base damage has been increased by 10%. So another buff for the Necro. It seems that the Necro is like the go-to class that you should be right now if you want an advantage. And then some wizard skills that have changed. Frostfield, the cooldown is reduced from 16 to 14 seconds. Ice Crystal, cooldown is reduced from 30 to 25. Disintegrate, the damage is increased by 20%. And Ray of Frost, wow. Disintegrate and Ray of Frost, which are probably two of the best skills for the wizard, are both getting a 20% buff. That is pretty big, if you ask me. Now, we have some feature updates to both Familiars and to Helliquary, so let's dive into these. Helliquary Matchmaking. In addition to the existing raid feature, finder feature, we've added the ability for players to automatically matchmake into Helliquary raids. Helliquary Blacksmiths. To aid players in being able to quickly move from one activity to the next, we've added a blacksmith to the end of each Helliquary. That's awesome. I always just hang out in front of the blacksmith, so when I get out, I could go to the blacksmith and then get into the next one. But that's such a great addition. Nice quality of life change. Helliquary Exit Portal. There were some cases where the exit portal was erroneously placed next to the loot after slaying a Helliquary boss, leading to players to accidentally exiting. What am I saying? Exiting the instance. My God. We've relocated the exit portal to prevent that issue. Exciting. Jesus. All right. Battlegrounds matchmaking. Players are no longer able to allocate Paragon points during Battleground matches. We've seen players fully revert their Paragon points prior to entering a Battleground match. And once the match began, they would spend those Paragon points on abilities that would turn the match in their team's favor. Why do people cheat to get those silly little advantages? Then, after the match was completed, players would restore the Paragon points to what they originally were prior to the match. We want to ensure that Battlegrounds remains fun for everyone and have observed how this strategy interferes with that desire. Well, I'm glad they fixed that. That's ridiculous that people would go to that length just to get a small advantage. It's annoying. Familiar optimization. We've also refined certain aspects of familiars to ease the gameplay experience. Adjusted movement speed of familiars to improve their ability to collect loot faster. Yes, that's what I was saying. I wanted them to just be a little bit more effective in collecting loot. I thought that they've already made that adjustment because it seems to have been better, but this is cool that they're making the adjustment. Optimize how familiars pick up items. The description for certain familiar passive skills has been altered to increase their clarity. And missed familiar contracts will now be sent to the players via in-game mail. That's awesome. I didn't even know I could miss a contract. I'm glad that, well, I probably did miss some along the way. Familiar menus. The suite of menu options has been added to the familiar feature to equip players with increased information and to prevent accidental changes from being made to their familiars. Let's be honest. Familiars get confusing, especially when you're trying to meld and combine and do all that stuff. It gets confusing. Everyone's still trying to figure the darn thing out. We put out a guide here on the channel, and I even made a mistake in the guide. So, I mean, you know, it's just confusing stuff. I like that they're going to make it a little bit more streamlined. By tapping or clicking the icon in the familiars menu, players can lock their familiar. Locked familiars can't be traded nor used for melding, which is actually great. If you lock it right here, there you go, right there, the lock, just like we could lock certain gems, you're keeping your familiar safe. Definitely a great change right there. Players now can show off their favorite familiars to other players in chat using the new linking feature. Choosing to do so allows players to see some of your familiar stats. Okay, I don't care about that, but maybe some people do. Additionally, a double confirmation menu will now appear when you attempt to perform a familiar conversion to make sure it's not done by mistake. That is a definitely nice change right there. Battle points and from familiar contracts. Adjusted the calculation of obtaining battle points from Niz's familiar contracts. This calculation accounts for battle points obtained from all gameplay. Juggernaut specialization skill. The Juggernaut skill acquired from the Champion's Paragon specialization in Infernal Difficulty 4 can now be used in Challenge of the Immortal. The description of this skill has been updated to state this. All right. Player health UI. We've added the variety of UI improvements to equip players with more information during PvP. Health bars are larger and more easily recognizable. That's cool. And bonuses and decreases a player is experiencing and their durations will now be tracked. The change helps players more precisely track the status of incoming and outgoing crowd control effects during combat. This can be toggled in the settings menu. All right, nice. Boss damage immunity UI. Bosses who are immune to damage will have their health bars turn gray to better communicate. Oh, that's nice. I mean, we all know when it's happening, like when they're immune, but it's nice that it's gray so that it's just even more clear. Shadow War menu. The Shadow War notification appears 10 minutes before a match begins, has been removed to prevent players from accidentally canceling their involvement in the activity. Okay? And Elder Rifts. The last 100 instances of crest usage will now be displayed instead of the previous amount of 20. So you could really see and calculate when those pity drops are going to come. Well, that's what's coming to Diablo Immortal. Bunch of new stuff that we expect from a new season. Balance changes which we expect, which are hopefully working in favor of everyone inside of the game. And a couple of changes to Helliquary and pets. Like I said, not the biggest update, but definitely some nice changes that we can look forward to. Let me know if you like the cosmetics as well for this Battle Pass. I think they're kind of cool. I think it looks a little bit different. Another take on our cosmetics. Guys, I'm out of here. I'll see you back here tomorrow.